Have you ever stopped to really think about the true scale of a being like Godzilla? I'm not just talking about some giant monster smashing cities, like an angry King Kong or the mythological dragons from ancient legends. No, Godzilla is something way deeper, way more unsettling. He's practically a force of nature that rose up to remind us who we really are. He's the living, unstoppable consequence of humanity's own mistakes, an entity that flips logic and biology on its head. It's honestly wild to think that behind all that rage and destruction, there's a complex anatomy, a biological system that shouldn't even exist, yet somehow thrives. This isn't just a monster, it's a walking nuclear reactor, a primordial echo of a forgotten past, and a brutal warning about our future. Let's be real, when we look at Godzilla, we're not just seeing a titan, we're staring straight into the mirror of our own arrogance, the physical manifestation of the nuclear fear we created ourselves. It's crazy how one creature can feel so real and so symbolic at the same time, proof that some forces of nature should never be awakened. But what if I told you Godzilla's anatomy goes way beyond the physical and the symbolic? To truly break down the anatomy of this titan, we have to move past the idea of a simple monster. We're talking about a creature that straight up defies the laws of physics and biology as we know them, an aberration of nature that became nature itself. Picture a body that can range from about 160 feet to nearly 400 feet tall, weighing anywhere between 20,000 and 160,000 tons. That alone is insane, a direct middle finger to the square cube law that governs giant organisms. How does something like that even support its own mass without collapsing? In my opinion, the answer lives somewhere between extreme pseudoscience and a heavy dose of suspension of disbelief. Radical radioactive mutation. His bones and muscles aren't just dense, they're reinforced with radioactive minerals and a unique cellular structure, basically a biological suit of armor that gives him ridiculous durability. He can tank heavy military assaults, meteor impacts, and even direct nuclear blasts without taking serious damage. It's like his skin is an impenetrable fortress and his bones are the pillars of a Gothic cathedral, built to carry the weight of an entire world. Now think about this thing's heart, a 100-ton mass, roughly the size of a blue whale, beating only twice per minute. That's a biological anomaly pointing to an insanely slow but incredibly efficient metabolism, capable of pumping over 400,000 gallons of blood through an aorta nearly 10 feet wide. Every heartbeat is basically a mini earthquake, pushing life through a colossal body, a perfect survival machine built for hostile environments. Along his thick neck, powerful gills pull oxygen straight from the water, letting him breathe underwater for centuries, making him the undisputed king of both sea and land. And the brain? Just 0.001% of his body mass. But don't get it twisted, that doesn't mean he's dumb. Godzilla shows advanced animal intelligence, a strategic awareness that makes him way more than a mindless beast. He doesn't just react, he plans, he learns, he adapts. Godzilla's regeneration ability, driven by the mysterious G-cells, is another mind-blowing factor. Injuries that would be fatal to any other creature heal almost instantly, turning him into an unstoppable survival engine. Deep wounds, severed limbs, destroyed organs, all repaired in minutes or hours. Anyone who underestimates him is asking for trouble. He's living proof that radiation doesn't just destroy, it can forge an entirely new form of life, adapted to the hostile world humans created. No exaggeration, Godzilla's physiology is a case study in extremes, a biology reinvented for a post-nuclear world. He doesn't just survive, he thrives in the worst conditions, absorbing radiation like fuel, a walking biological nuclear reactor. He can live for millennia, hibernate for centuries, and come back stronger than ever. It's absurd, but that's the reality of a being that transcends fiction and becomes a symbol of raw power and resilience. What really defines Godzilla, what makes him truly unstoppable, are his powers, all deeply tied to nuclear energy. His atomic breath isn't just a beam, it's the expression of an organic nuclear reactor inside him, a living furnace that laughs at thermodynamics. His dorsal plates, glowing intensely before the attack, act like pressure valves, channeling and releasing massive energy from chemical and nuclear reactions inside his body. And it doesn't stop there. His power isn't fueled only by nuclear radiation. The hollow Earth provides a primordial blue energy that supercharges his internal reactor and allows insane evolutions. As shown in Godzilla x Kong, the New Empire, his evolved form absorbs massive hollow Earth energy. His dorsal plates curve and glow with a magenta bioluminescence, His atomic breath becomes hotter and pinkish purple, and his body grows leaner, faster, and more muscular, pushing Godzilla to his absolute peak as the king of the monsters. It's raw power on another level, a concentrated blast that melts steel, vaporizes everything in its path, and reshapes the landscape itself. His massive tail, now equipped with sharp thagomizers in recent evolutions, becomes a deadly close combat weapon, slicing enemies like a giant blade. Honestly, this is the clearest proof that he's not just an animal, he's a living war machine. The way he absorbs and releases radiation is straight up bizarre. Godzilla functions like a living battery, feeding on nuclear sources, atomic bombs, power plants, even the planet's natural radiation. This isn't just an ability. It's the foundation of his existence, the fuel that sustains his colossal body and godlike powers. It's forced evolution, an extreme adaptation to a world humanity poisoned, a testament to life's resilience in the face of catastrophe. But how far can we really explain all this with science? There's a limit to pseudoscience, and this Titan blows past it effortlessly. We can theorize about mutated cells, ultra-dense bones, and hyper-efficient metabolism, but the truth is, Godzilla represents the unknowable, the stuff beyond our understanding. He's what happens when we mess with forces we can't control, a dark reminder that nature always finds a way, even if that way is monstrous. His lifespan, estimated in the thousands of years, only deepens the mystery. How can a being endure entire eras and endless threats? Maybe the answer lies in his ability to hibernate for millennia, rising only when the planet's balance is at risk. He's not just a monster, he's Earth's defense mechanism, a primordial guardian that restores order even if it means unimaginable destruction. Beyond anatomy and overwhelming power, Godzilla's real complexity lies in his mind and instincts. Like I said earlier, he's not a mindless animal. He has advanced intelligence, capable of identifying threats, recognizing allies, and showing real combat strategy. Despite all the destruction, he doesn't act out of blind rage. There's purpose behind his actions, a primal instinct guided by ancient wisdom beyond human logic. Let's be honest, Godzilla is one of the most hardcore territorial creatures in all of fiction, rising from the depths to defend his domain, which ultimately is planet Earth itself. He's not a classic villain, but a balancing force, an immune system that reacts when humanity crosses dangerous lines. The idea that he acts out of revenge is tempting, but probably too simple. It's more likely his fury is an instinctive response to ecological imbalance, nature's wrath made flesh, a primal scream against destruction. He's the embodiment of nuclear fear, a constant reminder of what happens when we play with forces we don't understand. Every roar, every earth-shaking step, echoes the terror atomic weapons burned into our collective consciousness, a symphony of destruction resonating through history. He's the monster we created, the dark reflection of our own capacity for annihilation. It's ironic that something so massive can be so symbolic, but that's Godzilla, a living symbol of human arrogance towards science and nature, and the inevitable cost of recklessness. He forces us to face the truth that we're not the ultimate rulers of this planet, and that older, greater forces can and will put us back in our place. No exaggeration, Godzilla's mind is as mysterious and fascinating as his body, operating on a scale of geological eras and cosmic balance. When we talk about Godzilla, it's impossible to ignore his insane feats of destruction. He doesn't just damage cities, he wipes them off the map, turning thriving metropolises into apocalyptic wastelands. Tokyo, San Francisco, and countless others have been reduced to rubble under his feet or incinerated by his atomic breath, a radioactive hellfire that consumes everything. The sheer scale of that destruction is hard to wrap your head around, one being dismantling modern civilization in a matter of hours. He's gone head-to-head with entire armies, cutting-edge military tech, and walked away almost untouched, like human weapons were nothing but toys. Nukes, missiles, tanks, none of it matters against his absurd durability. And it's not just humans. Godzilla is a born fighter, an apex predator who dominates other titans in battles that redefine power itself. His clashes with King Ghidorah, the three-headed dragon, Destoroyah, the embodiment of the oxygen destroyer, King Kong, who later becomes an ally, and Mechagodzilla, humanity's ultimate weapon, are legendary cosmic-scale confrontations that shake the planet. He doesn't just survive, he dominates, cementing his status as the king of the monsters. Comparing Godzilla to other giant creatures in fiction almost feels unfair. He goes beyond giant monster and becomes a force of nature, a walking cataclysm. No dragon, demon, or mech matches his mix of raw power, nuclear resilience, and deep symbolism. Every act of destruction is a brutal reminder of how small we really are. Godzilla's origin is one of humanity's darkest chapters. He wasn't born from some ancient egg or random mutation. He was awakened, or rather created, by nuclear testing in the Pacific, a radioactive scar humanity carved into the planet. Nuclear energy, meant to represent progress and deterrence, became the catalyst for a being that embodies the fear it inspires both victim and executioner. It's messed up to think the same force that gave us mass destruction also gave us our greatest nightmare. Godzilla's cycle is just as fascinating. He rises, destroys, vanishes into the ocean depths, and returns whenever balance is threatened. He's not a villain with evil plans, he's a corrective force, nature's brutal response to human arrogance. When humanity crosses the line through nukes, environmental destruction, or creating other titans, Godzilla emerges as the reset button. He's living proof that playing with forces beyond our control comes at a price, and that price is paid in ruins and lost lives. In my view, Godzilla is the ultimate symbol of nature's revenge, a primordial echo reminding us we're just part of a much larger ecosystem. He forces us to accept that we don't own this planet, we're just tenants. And nature, in its ruthless wisdom, will always restore balance, even if it takes a colossal monster to do it. Godzilla is our collective fear made flesh, a warning that refuses to fade. So after diving into Godzilla's insane anatomy and brutal symbolism, the final question remains: is he just a city-destroying monster, a purposeless walking cataclysm, or is he living proof that some forces of nature should never be awakened, a towering reminder that humanity's hunger for power might end up summoning its own downfall? Drop your take in the comments. Do you see Godzilla as a villain, a hero, or something way more complex? Like the video if this absurd creature fascinates you as much as it does me, and subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of pop culture.